Hey everybody, Bardo here. No, I'm not dead. I did not get run over by a steamroller, but I do have to admit, I am in a little bit of a rut with Forge of Empires, and it's been a minute since my last video. I don't think I'm alone on this. It seems like there's lots of long-term players that have been struggling maintaining their interest in the game. At least that's what folks have shared with me on Discord and Reddit. So let's talk about this and a few other topics, including, of course, the hot tip of the week. Here we go. Greetings and salutations, and as Jack Torrance told Lloyd in The Shining, I've been away, but now I'm back. So please forgive me if I'm a little rusty. I really need to get back into the groove here. Yes, it has been a few weeks since my last video. I'd like to talk about this rut that I'm in with the game. I mean, I've continued to play. I've done the minimum, at least the minimums, every day for the last 4 years. I mean, I don't think I have still missed one day. I've collected my city. I maintain at least the minimums as required by my guild. Always finish GE and the mandated fights in GBG, etc. All that. But man, I hate to say it, but I'm losing some interest in the game. I mean, there's just so much that needs to be done to be competing and to be performing at a high level, to be an elite player in the game. I mean, it wears on you after a while, especially considering all of life's other demands. And, you know, it's summertime now, you know, when the weather gets good, you want to be outside, you're doing more. So let's talk about this. I'll be talking about all of this, but first, you may recall that the last video I did was several weeks ago, the city rebuild video. Now, I think there is value to this tool, but I just want to kind of mention, now that it's been a few weeks, I do see the tool as something that can help you, but it definitely has some flaws, and it certainly is not the be-all end-all for constructing your city. After doing the video, I researched the designs and layouts and talked to some of the absolute best players in the game. I consulted with them, and I figured out some fairly simple ways to redo my city. So I did. I mean, it took longer, but I did it, and the results were awesome. Not only from an efficiency standpoint, but from an aesthetic standpoint. So here's my initial layout before using the city building tool. I mean, there's no real rhyme or reason to it. I mean, you just have, everything's just kind of wherever. It looked like a mess. It was not very efficient. Then I used the city building tool, and it was statistically an improvement. I mean, it was clearly an improvement. If you go back and watch the video, I specifically point out what those changes in my stats were. But there were still issues. I mean, look, for example, at how I've got all of these sentinels in the middle of my map near my city hall, which makes that makes no sense at all. Since they don't need roads, people know that they do not need to be right there in the middle of the city. So there's just obviously some things like that were not good. So I just started over manually from scratch. And I just took my time, and yes, it took quite a bit longer, but I did everything manual, and I implemented some of the techniques that I've seen some of the best players in the world use. And so, you know, here's what I've done. Here's what it looks like. And forgive me, I mean, obviously I need to collect my city, but I haven't collected it yet because I want to show you something when I use the hot tip of the week later. So I haven't collected it. But it's definitely an improvement. If you go ahead and look at my town overview here on FoE helper, yeah, you can see I went with a spiral design. You know, the road just kind of winds around. It goes in a spiral mainly around the city. And I also have, you know, I have put together a lot of the like buildings. And not only does that make it, you know, easier to find where they are, but it certainly it looks so much better. So, you know, I didn't want to spend too much time on this, but I did just want to mention, since, you know, this was a major improvement that I made to my city since the last video. Some of you guys gave me some tips after I after I showed the video, and you guys were right about so much of it. So I just want to emphasize the city building tool. I mean, it's not perfect, but it can be helpful. I mean, it can definitely be helpful. Think about it in terms of good, better, and best, right? Like, so if your city, it's not a disaster, but it definitely needs an update, you know, it's probably good. If you use the city building tool to save time, make some improvements, it'll likely be better. But if you really just take the time, start from scratch, look at what other folks are doing, and try some different manual strategies, that would likely be the best. Okay, now let's get to the main content of this video. So think about all the things in life that, you know, you love, that you like to do, but too much of it, it can start becoming a bad thing. So you're thinking about things like desserts, alcohol, for example. I mean, in moderation, maybe it's not so bad for you. But as Forge of Empires gets more components, now let's just think about this for a minute. I mean, if you've been playing this game for a while, this stuff has really started to add up. And if you just stop and think about it, you've got the main city. You've got all there is to, you know, collecting your city and all of that. You've got the settlements, all right? The settlements, they've put more emphasis on these settlements. So now it's even more important to do them because the fully upgraded buildings in the settlements are really badass. You've got GE, right? Guild Expeditions. You've got GBG and all of the great rewards that come from that. They obviously have just implemented QI, and you know, some folks are still kind of getting the handle of that, but other people have really picked up on it, and it's become a big part of what they do. You have PvP. You have the events when they come around really require a lot of attention, and not to mention the time it takes to be a big time sniper, right? And think about the players with multiple cities. I mean, can you imagine? I have only had one city the entire time I've been playing this, and it has taken a lot of time for one city. So I think about what this must be like for folks that are high caliber players and they're playing on multiple cities. I mean, it kind of boggles my mind. So if you're doing all these things and you're performing at a high level, the demand of your time is enormous. I mean, it's enormous. This can wear on you. It can maybe start to feel like a job. I've had a lot of people that have said that. So as I thought about this video and kind of what I wanted to say, I mean, my goal for every other video that I've done, I mean, it's really been to try to help people with the game, maybe generate some conversation, provide some tips, provide some value for your game. That's been the intent and the goal of my videos. This video though, I'm really not offering much of any help. I mean, we'll get to the hot tip of the weekend here in just a moment. But in this video, I am mainly asking for help. I'm asking you to help me. Here is your chance to help me. So I'm really interested in thinking about and talking about some ways to rejuvenate interest in the game. Now, here's a few that I thought of and a few that were shared with me. I mean, one thing you could do is you can age up. I tend to be a player that camps in an age for quite some time, especially if it's a one of the better ages for camping. Like right now, I'm in future. I have been for a month. I will be for definitely a few months more, and maybe that has contributed to me experiencing some burnout in the game. But one thing you could do is age up. You know, go to a different age. You know, fight with different troops, get some different buildings. Definitely something you could do. Maybe you could join or start a new guild, you know, meeting some new folks in the game. Just that can kind of spice things up a little bit, trying out a new guild. You could redesign your city, which obviously I just spent some time talking about that. But certainly if you improve your city, if you redesign it, and not only does it look better, but it definitely helps you perform better, that can rejuvenate your interest in the game for sure. Maybe switching your approach as far as you know, what your philosophy is about the game. Maybe switching from being a fighting slash growth type of player to being more of a trading or a helping type of player. I know a lot of folks that have been playing the game for a long time, and they really kind of seem to focus on the helping piece now, right? Like they've they've achieved so much in the game, there's not much more room for them to grow. So they've kind of transitioned a little bit from growing to helping. So that could be interesting to have a different philosophy about the game. Maybe you simply need an extended break, right? Maybe you need to, take a couple months away from the game, just, to think about some other things for a while, and then when you come back, you'll be rejuvenated. That's a possibility. Um, Somebody on my Reddit page mentioned an interesting concept they called it theory crafting. Theory crafting. They said, if you go into Discord communities, and talk with folks and find new little quirks in the game to focus on and think about and really try to understand and kind of master. Theory crafting, that's an interesting thing. Maybe it would be helpful to set a new goal. Like for me, what I'm doing, I am going to focus on getting my arc to 180. It's at 170 right now. Here in the next day or two, I'll get it up to 171. But certainly a level 180 arc would be a major challenge. And I think I can do it. It's going to take me a little bit more time. But with the amount of forge points I'm generating, I know I can do it. So maybe just having something like that, a new goal to focus on in terms of getting a particular GB to a certain level, is a good thing to do. Or maybe lead your guild, have a goal of leading your guild in GBG battles for a season. So setting a new goal. Or quite simply, maybe just because there are so many elements to the game now, maybe just simply being more selective about the activities you choose to do. I've had some folks say, you know what, I can understand why some people like the QI stuff, but that's just not me. Like I don't want to, I don't want to be worried about building up another settlement in QI, and I'm not interested in manual fighting. Some folks have just said, I'll keep playing the game. I like the other elements of the game, but really not going to do QI. So maybe that's what we need to do, to just realize and to think about how we don't need to do every single element of the game. Maybe we need to be more selective. All right, so my lesser interest in the game, it has meant less videos for you. When I first decided to start this YouTube channel, I knew I had like maybe 8 to 10 topics that I really felt like would be good videos and had really solid value to them. And I've done those. I have pretty much done those videos and I feel pretty good about them. But now I kind of feel like I've run out of some video ideas on topics I feel strongly about. I feel like if I'm going to do a video on something, it needs to be something that I feel pretty strongly about, pretty confident about. And so that's one of the main reasons why I haven't made any videos for a little while. So I'm kind of uncertain what to do next. So this is where I ask you, here's another way that you can help me. I'm asking you to help me. What do you think would be helpful or interesting topics for future videos? Would love to hear your thoughts on this. Please share in the comments what type of content you'd like to see going forward, or specific topics that you would like to see discussed. And then finally, the last thing that I'm going to ask your help on is I would love to get some encouragement from you for my channel. It really pumps me up. It inspires me to create more. Now look, maybe you don't want me to, or maybe you don't really care. Maybe I really should be slowing this thing down. But if you like my content, you'd like to see more of my videos, please leave a comment and just let me know about that. That in itself kind of rejuvenates my interest, not only in the game, but of making videos. I've had several folks reach out, send me direct messages in the game wondering, hey, Bardo, where you been? And this helps. It helps that you have noticed that I've taken a break from creating. So, I do pay close attention to the metrics of the channel. Overall, I mean, I seem to be doing fairly well, but oftentimes I can't tell if people give two craps about this channel or not, right? So if you like it, please let me know. And certainly, if you have any constructive criticism, I value that as well. I can take it. I welcome all forms of feedback. Now, before we get to the hot tip of the week, I did want to mention this. This week was the first time that I have been able to utilize the replace units feature in the game, which is absolutely a game changer for sure. And so if you don't know what I'm talking, I'm sure you probably do by now. I mean, it was just rolled out to, I believe, all players this week. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me just demonstrate for you. So in GE here, I'm working through GE. Look, some of my troops are little battled here. I'm going to battle through this. And now more are battled. Um, but what's really great is this replace units. When you click this, what it does is it replaces any damaged unit with another unit of that kind. If you started out, for example, sometimes I'll fight with 2 hovers and 6 rogues. If that's what you started out with, um, and one of your hovers gets killed, when you click replace units, it had what your lineup was at the start of the last battle. So that is an absolute game changer. I absolutely love it. It makes it so much easier to fight in GBG. I mean, it's so much better. The latest round of GBG just started this morning, and I tried that out for the first time, and I'm like, man, this is a groundbreaking feature that they've added to the game, and I love that. And that's just the kind of stuff that I need to stay interested in the game. Okay, listen up, everyone. Call the neighbors, wake the kids. It is time for the hot tip of the week. And this this tactic can be applied with a variety of special buildings. In this case, I am going to demonstrate it with and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Hey, someone leave a comment. Let me know how to pronounce this. The Wyverntide Spire of Victory, level 2, right here. Wyverntide Spire of Victory, level 2. Okay, maybe I just need a nickname. I'll just call it the Spire. Okay, so the Spire. Now, um, one thing about this building, you notice that when it is polished, it will give you 10 frags of the Smithy selection kit. Okay, um, as you can see here in my city, I've got 2 level 1 smithies. There's one, and the other is right here. Um, and they're both level 1s. Well, obviously, the Spire will give you 10 fragments of a smithy selection kit. Now, the tip I'm going to use, it only works when you have a bunch of finished special productions. I actually happen to have, I don't know, I've got a 40, let's see how many I've got. Finished special production right here. I got 44 of these. So this will work. This is a good way to use those. So of course you're going to, and I'm doing this obviously before I do my regular city collection. Because you're implementing your blue galaxy here. So you activate your blue galaxy. We don't see this right now. And then you collect on your spire. Now should I make sure that my spire has been motivated? And it has. So I will go ahead and collect it. Oh, I can't. I got to spend these forge points. Let me dump them on my arc. I mentioned it before. I'm working on leveling my arc up. So let me dump these out onto my arc. Okay, now I can collect my smithy or my spire. So there we go. It did not get doubled by the blue galaxy, which sucks, but I did get my my 10 fragments of my smithy. Now, in my case, you can see um, I need 500 fragments to get a selection kit for the smithy, and I've got 443. I just collected 10, so I need 57 more. So instead of just waiting an entire day to collect on it again, I am going to go ahead and use one of my finished special production kits. And I'm going to use it on my spire. Okay, so now I've done that, but I do need to motivate it, right? Because it's gotta be motivated. So I'm going to use a self-aid kit. Oops, I hope if I can spell self. And as you can see, I have 1,603, so I have plenty of those. So I'm going to go ahead and motivate it. And now it is ready to be collected again. And again, since I still have 14 of my blue galaxy charges, I'll go ahead and collect it again. Now, hopefully it'll double. And it did. So it did double. And so now I'm down to 37. So rinse and repeat this. Rinse and repeat this. And this is how you can utilize those finished special production kits. Hey, that is all I have for you today, folks. As I said before a few minutes ago, I would love to hear from you. If you feel it in your heart to encourage me to make more videos, if you have ideas for how maybe you've gone through a rut in the game and what did you do to rejuvenate your interest in the game, would love to hear that. So drop something in the comments. Let me know if you have some good strategies for keeping the game interesting, or if you have suggestions for future topics. I would love to hear from you. So as always, until next time, forge on, my friends, forge on.